I am Quinny. Welcome to the channel, guys. In this video today, we are picking up with the third and final installment of the Under-23 Wonderkids for the 22-23 season that no one is talking about. When I've been building these lists, guys, I'm thinking about players that could be great utility cards, great flip opportunities potentially as well, if these guys fulfill their potential, if I can say that, go on to realise their promise. And for forwards, guys, I've managed to do the same thing I've managed to do with the defender video and the midfielder video. We've got a good mixture of champion, we've got some challengers in there. We're going to start the video off with the cheapest card and run our way up to the top, and as ever, your interactions in the comment section make the video all the more special. So drop down your suggestions for anyone who should have been included in this list that has been missed out at any point in the video today. If you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and let's get stuck into it. If you could, hit the subscribe button. I do daily global football content, everything from Wonderkids and Rising Star Managers to fantasy football and watch-alongs. The most popular content on the channel is transfer insights, Celtic analysis and Sorare tutorials. If you are new to Sorare and you haven't opened your account yet, there's a link in the description of this video. By clicking on that link, you'll get yourself a free limited card once you've bought 5 from the market, supporting all the content on Quinny 3001 and Sorare TV, and I thank you in advance if you do so. If you do have any further questions or need any advice, then just reach out to me in the comment section of the video. Now, Benjamin Nygren has just moved to Nordisland in the Danish Super League. Now, the Swedish, almost kind of former Wonderkid at the age of 21, this guy's actually been on the platform for a good little while. He's came nowhere real near to fulfilling his potential, but in Denmark, he should start to get some more action. It should be a bit more befitting of a level to let this guy go on and shine. And with it being a scored league, etc., if this guy gets a hot streak in a division like this, where he scores maybe, I don't know, like 7 goals across 12 games or something, he could be a very valuable under-23 striker. Currently trading for a rare now, 0.12, and for a limited 0.012. So there's definitely a lot of ceiling potential on this guy. He is under-23 eligible until 2026, and you know, depends on your budget and your risk appetite, because this is far from a sure thing. You know, he's still got to, you know, there's some early signs been shown here so far, but you know, there's still more to be gotten there. So but Benjamin Nygren, for this kind of price budget, I think he's fantastic value. Now, last weekend, I tuned in to watch Celtic v Aberdeen, and I wasn't expecting any Aberdeen player to really catch my eye, other than hopefully maybe Ross McCrory, because I've got his super rare. But Vincent Besson, like, if that's how you say his name, he's 21, he's under 23 eligible until 2025. He looked to be Aberdeen's like most creative, best kind of attacking player, and it was almost pretty effective against Celtic on the counter-attack. And I was like, what's the story with this guy? Because he looked like a good player. His scores, like, these charts look okay at a glance, but there's not that many peaks here, and you think, what's going on? He moved to Aberdeen at the very end of January in the window there. Aberdeen were really poor last season by Aberdeen standards, and under new manager Jim Goodwin, they've only had one match. It was a 2-0 loss to Celtic, but by all accounts, people's expectations and aspirations for Aberdeen is not as glum as it was last season. As you see, the team who was in, ADO Den Haag, weren't, you know, they're a low-end team in the Eredivisie, so there's not many opportunities for a creative guy like this to go and really, you know, shake his tail feathers, if you like, and go and impose himself on a game. And I think Aberdeen are much more better equipped to do that domestically than Den Haag. And, you know, Aberdeen will get, I don't know, maybe 60% of their home games will be good matches that they should get positive results in. And if this guy's going to play every week, he will be involved in goals and assists, I can almost guarantee it. And for a 21-year-old at 0.19, I think he's an absolute great purchase. Now, I think this is the only rookie that made the list. Nico Serrano, I beg your pardon, is one of these guys coming through the Bilbao Academy. Bilbao, if you don't know, they only register players from their like region, which is called Basque, the Basque country. And this is one of the next kids coming through. Now, this guy actually caught my eye when I was watching Celta Vigo. He came off the bench and played 18 minutes against Celta Vigo, and you know, in a small substitute appearance, he got some AA and he looked quite clever. And I've kind of paid attention to him ever since. He's got some good international credentials with Spain youth teams, and you know, with the chat of Williams, Inaki Williams, I think he's staying, he might be going. Same with Munayin. There's definitely the potential for this guy to start breaking out and get minutes. And with this guy, he's still got a rookie card at the moment. He is a forward, right? He does play kind of left mid, left wing. But I'd say getting a rookie card or something like this who can maybe break out towards the back end of this season, maybe he makes his name in cups or whatever, I don't know. But somebody who will continue to push to get into that Bilbao first team. You know, he could he could be a fantastic card to pick up. He's got a lot of talent from what I've seen in him so far. Anyway, he's under 23 eligible until 2027, and these guys that come through the academies, like teams at Bilbao, Valencia, Sociedad, those kind of teams that do have a good kind of culture of history in their town with football and whatever, I can always get quite excited about them. And Nico Serrano is definitely one that I'll be watching this season in La Liga for sure. I've only got unlimited of this guy, and even that unlimited, he's actually pretty well priced, especially for a rookie card also. This is where we start to get some clever cards now. Okay, now Emmanuel Omega actually first came on my radar when the Eredivisie first launched. He was one of the young kids that was getting minutes, and some of his statistics per 90 were really good, and he was a kid worth keeping an eye on. I was lining him up for this video anyway because he's went to Antwerp, and it's like, oh, maybe he comes back and he does better for Antwerp after finally, after not really having a breakthrough since his transfer. And as I was looking him up, he gets transferred to Sturm Graz in Austria, and it's like, will he replace Højlund or will he be playing alongside him? But by all accounts, he is into play, he is into start, and he's got a lot of promise to prove on. The Austrian league, similar to what I was saying about Nygren earlier on, it could just be a great level for him to come on and improve and really strut his stuff. You just need to look at Veroni, who just went to the Revs, and Yeboah, who went into Serie A mid-season. If you get it right at the right team in Austria as an under-23 striker, it doesn't really matter about the quality of the opposition or the team. If you're an under-23 striker getting 10 goals and a couple of assists and making some headlines, then at 0.235 for a rare and 0.033 for a limited, I think Emmanuel Omega's got a lot of potential to fulfill, and he's in a great position to do that. To date, these are all the fixtures he's played where he wasn't a DNP, basically. He's been mainly a bench merchant, so it's difficult to get a real great sample size on him, but he has been an effective player, and if you do further research on him, you'll see the youth credentials, the pedigree I'm kind of chatting about there. Under 19 qualification, 3 games, 3 goals, 2 assists is very eye-catching to say the least, And he's been in the first team since, basically 2 years ago, so he's been playing first team football since the age of 17, 18 in the Eredivisie for Sparta Rotterdam, who are a very attacking team, but not probably the best equipped in the division. And as we just mentioned, the Antwerp transfer obviously just hasn't worked out. He's not kicked the ball for them before going to Sturm Graz, and I think he could have a great season. Now, I'm fanboying out on this a little bit, right? I'm a huge Paolo Maldini guy. Obviously, Daniele Maldini is a Serie A title winner now to continue that family tradition last season, and he's going out on loan to, I think it's Cremonese is what's going to be confirmed, and this could be the season where he breaks out. He will be going there to play, and at 0.219, it's the thing with Serie A, if he does play, you can't really expect him to do maybe better than 12 goals over the full season, and that can be quite slow moving for an under-23 striker. As he breaks into the team, he gets 1 or 2 goals, goes on a drought for 3 or 4 games, gets 3 or 4 goals, goes on a drought for 8 games, or however it pans out. But 2.2 for an under-23 striker that will probably play every game for the team he's going to, and does have the pedigree and does have a name to make for himself. He does have his own reputation in the game to start forming. And I would expect whatever opportunity he gets, he is going out on loan this summer, for him to grab it with both hands, and it to be a situation that is offering him almost guaranteed first team status. Now, Ayase Ueda is a fan favourite at FC Barcelona, and I had this guy, did I have his 1 of 100? I think I might have done. I had him for ages. He was a great under-23 option, has a great international pedigree with Japan across all these youth competitions or whatever since 2018. 15 goals in 29 games is fantastic. Domestically in the J-League as well, almost 1 and 2. And a lot of these games, as you'll know if you've been paying attention to the J-League, he's not been starting, so his goals to minutes is incredibly through the roof. I really like Ayase Ueda. Cercle Bruges are not always the best team to facilitate strikers. They were good with Ika Ugbo because he was taking penalties, but Ayase Ueda isn't that type of guy. At 0.27, I think he's got a lot of room to improve, and I think he will be good in the Belgian league, especially as limited. I think that's actually a pretty decent price. He's under 23 until the end of the season, so you are kind of really banking on him either being good for you this season for under 23s, or you're going to have a use for him beyond under 23s as well, and you're using that this season to have a wee bit of duality with him and be able to play him in 2 divisions. But if that's the sort of striker you're looking for, like a challenger guy around the quarter of an ETH mark, I think he's got enough going for him in the right direction. And we've seen the success that this kind of generation of Japanese talent is having in challenger Europe and Europe in general. And Ayase Ueda hasn't really been here that long in Europe, and I think he's got the potential to kick on in a big way. Now, this one really caught me by surprise. When I went to Spain, we just spoke about Serrano earlier on, but when I went to Spain, I was trying to look for some different things, and I ended up stumbling across this guy, Gonzalo Plata. His L15, 5, and all the rest of it looks pretty good. He's an Ecuador international. His SO5 scores, like, over the time haven't been really there because they've been in the Segunda division, you know, so he's not really been scored. He has played a bit for his national team, as you can see here, and he's been a pretty effective operator and this, for Ecuador. But last season, Valladolid, the team that are owned by Ronaldo Nazario or R9, he got 6 goals and 5 assists last year. He came from the Sporting Lisbon Academy, and he looks to be one of the main attackers for this season coming. At around a quarter of a coin on his average price, at the floor at the moment is about 0.4. He has a real differential card with him only having 77 rares. He will get more cards, of course, when La Liga comes out for this year, because Valladolid will be in La Liga, of course. But even at that, I don't expect the auction velocity to be that great. And a guy like this, like Valladolid, I don't know how well they'll do this year, right? But for him to be the main attacker there, you've got to be thinking, about 5 or 6 goals, 5 or 6 assists over the season. Maybe the odd thing like a penalty win or who knows what else. He's under 23 until 2025, which is fantastic. So a guy from the Ecuador national team who plays Sporting Lisbon Academy, and a promoted team that he was a key member of. And yeah, I think he's a great buy if you can pick him up. He's not cheap, and he's still got some promise to potentially live up to. Maybe he's somebody you keep an eye on. But even as you can see for the national team, 44 caps, 7 goals, 2 assists is not too shabby whatsoever. And it seems to be a key player for them at the moment. So a nice wee bit of international utility. Didn't hurt anyone at all, did it? Now, Ream made headlines last season by breaking through Hugo Ekitike, who's now went to PSG quite famously, and Illbella Toure looks to be one of the next guys coming through this kind of burgeoning, academy or kind of hotspot for scouting talent. And he's got really good raw statistics, and all of his metrics really pan out, and he looks to be set up to be the main man at Ream this year. Who knows how long Junior Ito's going to be out, but they're being quietly ambitious but being much better this season. And he's already started to contribute. He's got 9 goals and 5 assists across the last, across his career basically on SO5 to this point. So he can get decisives, he can get in amongst it. And if Ream are going to reinvest quite clever and make some upgrades in their team and try and maybe try and punch their way into a Conference League position, or just try and sell some more of their guys for lots of money, Illbella Toure is under 23 eligible until 2026. He's currently trading for under 0.4 of an Ethereum. He's actually got less cards than Plata, and he's going to be easier to get as well. As average price is under 0.3, so if you can't wait for an auction, this could be a great guy to be picking up, because Ligue 1 is known as the League of Talents. This is where a lot of these guys start their career off. It might be Belgium, and then they go to France, and then they get propelled into a bigger and better team or whatever. But I always like looking there for who could be the next guys coming through, because there is almost always someone about to break through in France. Sometimes it might be somebody who's got some data behind them that you can identify, and sometimes it'll be somebody that we've not even got a Scooby-Doo clue they exist at this point in time. I'm sorry, but my one from the Bundesliga is Georginio Rudiger. I think he's going to be the big breakout striker of the season. If you watch the content, you don't need me to tell you anything about him. I own unlimited of him. I think he's great. I think he's wonderful. I think he's going to have a great season at Hoffenheim. Georginio Rudiger, check him out. I don't want to bore you anymore. You've probably heard me mention him. And then the final one is Amin Sar. Now, I was scouting this guy. He had a super rare going on auction, and it actually went to an eye-watering price. And I was like, oof, I need to check this guy out a bit further. His rares are now trending really upwards. It looks about an ETH or so to be picking up one of this guy. Friend of the channel, John Nellis, recently won one. I think it was actually when I was on the stream with him, and he was like, oh, Amin Sar. And I was like, I know that guy. But he's starting to kick ass and take names. The thing that I really like about Amin Sar is that he transferred in kind of halfway through the season, and straight away 6 goals in 15 games with 1 assist is a very credible start to your career in the Eredivisie. After leaving Mjällby and Allsvenskan with 8 goals, 1 assist in 19 games, being a great start to his career. Even though this Malmo first season, 17 games, it says 1 goal, 1 assist. If we look into the minutes of that, tons of them are substitute appearances. He is 21 at the moment. So this is like 2 years ago, so he'd have been 19. So these have been mainly sub appearances as we're racking up. But for this season, Heerenveen are really good at pulling through talent and selling them on into the good and great of European football. The last Swedish striker they had themselves, Alexander Isak, of course, is now at Sociedad and been linked to Newcastle and a few other big teams. So Amin Sar could be the next one off the conveyor belt for them. Sweden have got a lot of good strikers coming through, so I don't know how feasible it is he's going to get into the national team now. but he's definitely somebody you can watch with a lot of excitement this year, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this guy end up in, you know, maybe 15 goals, give or take, and then he's not really had more than a couple of assists, so maybe 2 or 3 assists, nothing major. He seems more like a goal scorer than a creator of goals, if that makes sense. But again, if you've got the welly for it, if you win him, if you're lucky like that, or you can get him on an auction for about 0.5, this could be one of the guys that come next summer, along with one of my favourites, Georginio Rudiger, maybe one of the big challenger transfers that goes into a big team and becomes a real power player, and you're really glad you've got that limited or rare or whatever else it might be. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share and retweet and all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.